Ah yes, presentations. Like everyone else, I've had my fair share of presentations in school. And yeah, I'm not a fan of them. Even though the internet seems pretty divided on most things, it seems like everyone can agree that presentations suck. I mean, does anyone actually like doing presentations? You're standing up in front of a group of people while everyone is staring at you, waiting until you mess up. Or at least that's what it feels like. As soon as the teacher gives a presentation as an assignment, the classroom atmosphere changes within that second. And a lot of the time, teachers assign presentations as group projects for some reason. I mean, presentations are already stressful enough by myself, but now I have to work with these degenerates too? A lot of the time, whoever you're working with could not care less about actually helping out with the presentation. That makes it even more awkward because what are you going to do in that situation? If you tell them to get their crap together and help out, then you just look like a jerk. But I'm also not going to sit there and basically teach them how to complete a simple presentation while they sit there without a care in the world. But if you end up with someone who has no idea what they're doing, you have to carry the whole presentation and do all the work by yourself anyway. And I'm not talking about denying help to those who ask for it, because usually the people who ask for help are genuinely trying to contribute and get the work done. I'm talking about the people who sit there, not contributing, not helping out, not doing anything at all, and being perfectly okay with it. Unfortunately, these people seem to be pretty common in group presentations. Which reminds me of this presentation I had in history class this one time. The teacher let us pick partners, which is usually a good thing, but since I didn't know anyone, I got paired up with a person that nobody else wanted to partner up with. And guess what? He did absolutely nothing. This was the type of kid who just sat in the corner of the class and didn't say or do anything. Here's how it went when we first got partnered up. Are you gonna create a presentation? Yeah, I'll share it with you. Just give me your computer real quick. Okay, here you go. And that was the extent of it. He did not say a word for the entire week that we worked on it. Sitting in silence for an hour every day certainly added to the awkward tension, so good job there, dude. I was dreading having to present in front of the whole class with this kid. My teacher noticed my partner's incompetence and pulled me aside when class ended. She told me to write my name on the slides that I did so that she would be able to see the amount of work that we each did. She also said that we would be graded separately depending on how much work we each did so that he wouldn't get credit for my work. You are a saint. Bless this woman's soul. Why can't every group project be graded like that? It's only fair. So I did the presentation by myself, and I got a good grade on it. So now you might be wondering how it all went down when I presented it. Funny thing is, I didn't even need to present it at all. I would be at one of my brother's hockey tournaments on the days that we were supposed to be presenting. I told my teacher that I wouldn't be there, and she just excused it. She didn't even question me or anything. She was just like, oh, okay. I swear, every single time I do a presentation, my heart beats so fast I think I'm gonna go into cardiac arrest, my hands are shaking and flooding with sweat, and my memory implodes, even though I rehearse it hundreds of times at home. I always use note cards whenever I can, but every single time, they just go out the window. Teachers usually put limits on the amount of note cards that you can use, so I end up writing in the most microscopic handwriting that I can manage, but when I'm presenting, I can't take my sweet time deciphering what I wrote on my note cards. Okay, hello everyone. So, my presentation is about, what does that say? My presentation is about, why my handwriting sucks? Yeah, let's go with that. And no matter how many times I rehearse my presentation at home, when I'm up there presenting, I forget everything that I rehearsed. I could spend thousands of hours burning every single detail of my presentation into my memory, but in the moment, it vanishes. It's just gone. The same thing happened in my business class, except I just sped ran the whole thing. Speed ran? Is it sped ran or speed ran? I'm going with speed ran. What do I mean by that? So, my teacher assigned the class a presentation as our final project, and he was going over the requirements for it. He then got to the part about how our slides should look visually. In all of the presentations I've had in my life, the teacher has said something like this. Oh yeah, just have a decent amount of information on there, don't make it too blank, and don't write your college essay on there, and maybe toss in a picture too, and you should be good. But my teacher said that we would get points taken off if we wrote too much on our slides. What? And he didn't say to have like 3 to 4 sentences. No, he was talking about having one. What am I supposed to convey with one sentence? I get he wanted us to talk more and make it interesting, but how am I supposed to talk a lot in my presentation when I have 4 words per slide? And you see, I like having a decent amount of notes on my slides, so that if I forget or I don't know what to say or something, then I can just look at my slides. So having only a couple words on my slides isn't gonna help me out much. After that, we were allowed to work on it in class for a bit. My teacher was doing that thing where they walk around the room and look at everyone's progress, and when he got to my seat, he said, "You have way too much on your slides. You should probably take some words off." You know I have like 2 words on here, right? So given the fact that I had hardly anything on my slides, I wrote my whole presentation on some note cards and rehearsed it at home. I walk in on the day that we were presenting, and he calls us up one by one. I was just sitting in my seat, silently having a heart attack the whole time, waiting for my name to be called. He finally said my name, and I nervously stood up to present. Needless to say, I started shaking, my heart was pounding and beating at the speed of light, and I talked so fast through the whole presentation. I looked at my note cards, but I couldn't see the small handwriting, so I looked up at my slides, and yeah. I was surprised that I didn't fail the whole class since I thought it was way too fast to even be comprehensible, and yeah, did I mention that this presentation was 20% of our grade? That just goes to show that it isn't always as bad as you think. I had to take a speech class, and I'll spare you all the boring details, but as you probably guessed, I did a lot of presentations, and I got a lot more confident by the end of it. This is the advice that helped me the most. Don't care about what anyone thinks. Yeah, way easier said than done, but come on. Nobody will remember you messing up a line or saying something wrong in a year. Who am I kidding? People will probably forget about it the next day. It won't affect your future, so just take deep breaths and be calm. You probably won't be seeing these people in 10 years, so don't worry about what they could be thinking. Even if you mess up super bad and everyone's laughing at you, heck, even if your teacher is laughing at you, don't let it get in your head. If you go into a presentation confidently and not worry about what other people think, then you'd be surprised at how much easier it is to present. But no matter how many times I remind myself of this, I always get nervous when I present, like a switch is flipped in my brain. I know that this won't matter in a year. I know that it's no big deal if I mess up. I tell myself I can do this, but as soon as I stand up in front of the class, I instantly get nervous. It's just a thing that takes a lot of practice before you get comfortable with it. Hope you all do well in any future presentations you have, and good luck.